Oh my God, this is just so hard because I was really on Cassie's side. I was like, she's young. You know, she was impressionable. She really loved this man. You know, her career was in his hands. You know, she would have done anything. And maybe she was interested in the threesomes. And as we see, as the evidence come out, she was interested in some of these freak offs, right? And then I'm just wondering, okay, well, maybe it just got too far and she just didn't know how to walk away. She couldn't say no. It's just, but then more weird stuff keeps coming out. Like, your now husband was on a FaceTime call while you were having sex with Diddy. Like, it's so weird, y'all. And I'm trying to fathom, I'm trying to understand what could go through somebody's mind where that would be okay. Your now husband was watching you have sex with another man, and now he's with you. Like, it's weird. Like, was he forced to watch the video? Did he get pleasure from watching the video? Is he as innocent as he seems? How we don't know he's just not another predator using Cassie for her money, right? And then it's like, is Cassie as innocent as she seems, right? Maybe the only crime here was that Diddy used physical force and beat her. Maybe that's the only crime here. You know? Maybe it was no sexual abuse that happened here. There was nothing forced, because more and more weird stuff keeps coming out. Text messages about how much she liked the freak offs. You know, all of these weird shit keeps going on. And apparently there's a phenomenon where women like to get peed on. I don't know what that's about. I don't understand what's going on. You know, y'all ladies are kind of confusing to me, because you talk about how disgusting men can be, but y'all are interested in the disgusting shit because you guys allow certain behaviors. And when you get into situations like that where there's so much disgusting behaviors going on, it's hard to implement consent or not consent. It's hard for the law to argue that on your side, or for the public opinion to argue that, because you put yourself in a very sticky situation and you liked it. So when in that moment did you stop liking it? When did it become too much? Because for me, a man peeing on somebody's face, I think that's enough. I think that's where I would be like, okay, we're done here. But for I'm y'all, as you can see, like I'm lost for words, because I want to say defend all women, but the more this case unravels, I'm like, do we really even have a case here? Does New York even really have a case right now, besides domestic violence and maybe some drugs? Like, do they really have a case where they could throw this man away for the rest of his life? And I don't think so. And I'm shocked. I am shocked. I was full on ready to just be like, throw this man in the jail, throw away the key. He's freaking guilty. He's menace to society. He took this beautiful, talented girl and took away her power. But Cassie gave away her power as well, right? When does the victim become a participant? When does the participant now becomes a victim? That's where it becomes a very sticky situation. And what's the learning lesson from this? In life, ladies, when you are young and beautiful, it's gonna be hard to get sympathy out here, especially when you are of age. People are gonna expect you to know better. Even if you've been sheltered, even if you feel like, hey, I only went in for this, I did not expect this whole thing to happen, it doesn't matter because you're of age. And people expect you to know wrong or right. They expect you to know that. So my thing is, if you were okay with the freak offs, what happened in that moment where you felt like, you know what, I got to walk away from this situation? Maybe you felt like you wasn't getting your end of the deal met. Your career wasn't popping off. You wasn't getting the money. And now it's like, okay, let me go home and cry and, make this lawsuit and run off and make it seem like, oh, I was in distress and this was a horrible situation. You know how those girls, like, they don't get their way with the guy, so then they go to the police and tell the police, hey, he raped me, because maybe he didn't want to be with you no more. Maybe, you try to blackmail him and it didn't work, so now you're going to the police and crying rape. Like, how we don't know it's not one of those situations. And y'all know, at the end of the day, most women do want to say, yes, defend all women, but Cassie makes it hard. She makes it hard. Every time where I'm like, no, she's the victim, something comes out and questions that belief. Questions that belief system. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. This case will go on for a few more days, and more shit will come out that will make me question Cassie once again. Subscribe and like, and thank you for watching.